This conference will now be recorded.
Hi all, welcome to the next session on SAP ABAP. And in the last few classes, we have discussed about fundamentals of the ABAP data dictionary and modularization techniques, object-oriented ABAP, and reports with normal write statements and reports with ALV. In ALV by using function modules and object-oriented ABAP. And also we have done the BDC batch data communication to upload the data into SAP. And also we have seen the smart forms, okay, to print the data in a required format to the output devices. And this is the course which we have discussed in the last few classes. And the next most important concept is the interfaces. Okay, how can you integrate between different SAP systems or with SAP to the non-SAP systems? That's we call it an integration. Okay, so normally without an integration, you will not see any system based. With only one system, you cannot run your business. Okay, so you will be having different systems. The surrounding systems we can see. So like this. So if you see any company, so normal one company, so can use the SAP ECC as a major ERP system, and to handle the master data like customers, vendors, and the master data stuff, we are going to use the MDG master data governance system. And CRM, if you want to have a customer relationship, we are going to use SAP CRM like repairing orders, servicing. Okay, you will go to the store, you are going to do a service if you have a warranty, right? So that kind of things will be done by using SAP CRM, customer relationship management. The procurement kind of stuff by using vendors, we use SAP SRM, strategic relationship management. And so if you want to migrate to the new system, we use S4HANA system. And also some UI systems also we use. So how normally you are going to do any orders? If you want to do an orders, normally you go to the websites. From there you are going to order it, right? But the backend system normally, so UI isn't just a front-end system, guys. You will not be having any business logic, just only the screen logic and also the end user applications we are going to give in a web. But from the web, you can do your transactional data like creating order and the payments. You are going to do any payments from the websites, apps, right? The invoicing process, payment process, everything we done from the UI. So how you can integrate from UI system to the your SAP system. And so there are a lot of integrations which we see in any companies. So there are different kind of concepts which will provide an interfacing concepts. So the interfacing concepts which we have, the interfaces, we are going to integrate the data between the different systems. So these are all the different interfacing concepts. We have RFC function models, remote enabled function models. So there are different kind of function models. One is the normal function model, second one is the RFC function model, third one is the update function model. So the RFC function model, which works like an interfacing. Okay, that's an RFC. And BAPI is also in a RFC function model, but apart from integration, it gives more functionalities. We talk about BAPI and what exactly the BAPI in these next few coming sessions. And also we can expose the web services and ALE IDOCs. This is also one of the interfacing technique. And one more is the HTTP services with JSON format and OData, Open Data Protocol. This also we can use for the integration purpose, guys. So first we'll start exactly with the RFC. What exactly is RFC? Then we go for BAPI and we expose the RFC and BAPI as web services. Then we go to the IDOCs. Then HTTP services with Postman client. That also we are going to see in this course, and also OData services, guys. So normally this is an integration. These are the different systems which have this. So if you want to connect, so there are different systems. Suppose if I want to send the data from CRM to SAP ECC, or if I want to send the data from SAP SRM to ECC, if I want to send the data FDG to SAP, definitely you need to have a connection between the systems. So the connections, we are going to maintain the connections by with the different systems by using the concept called RFC destination. So you must, if you want to integrate SAP system, you must have an RFC destination. So this is the must and should. Okay, without RFC destination, you cannot integrate the data between the different systems in SAP. So you must have an RFC destination. To create the RFC destination, the transaction code is the SM59 is the transaction code base. Normally, for all these BAPI, RFC, and IDOCs, I do not have multiple systems. and we are going to use the clients. Okay, just clients I will use for the integration purpose. But the other things, the OData and HTTP services, I have a postman. So we'll use the postman to test our integration base. Okay, we'll use HTTP OData by using postman services. And we use this RFC, BAPI and ALI. We use the two clients. We are going to use the two clients. So you know SAP landscape. What is the SAP landscape normally which you see? What is the SAP landscape? Normally you will be having development system, quality system and production system. And in each system, each server, we have different clients. Okay, the clients, the 100, 200, 300, 400 like that. And also in SAP, in our lab server, in our servers, we have 800 and 810 clients. Okay, you need to treat those two clients as a different systems. Okay, okay, just you need to imagine those two systems as a different systems. That's it. And we are going to use those two different systems. We are going to integrate the system space. So first we will go to the RFC function modules. What exactly the RFC function module? It is used to integrate between SAP to SAP. I can use this RFC function model from SAP system to SAP system, and also SAP to non-SAP. Non-SAP also we can integrate by using RFC function modules. So both are possible. Okay, both are possible. Okay, then we must have RFC destination to connect between, I call it two systems, whether it is in SAP to SAP or SAP to non-SAP. Don't think it's only SAP to SAP. Okay, so maybe in our example we use only SAP to SAP, but we can integrate between SAP to non-SAP as well, guys. So the transaction code, okay, for the RFC destination is SM59. You must have an RFC destination first. First you need to build the connection, then we need to use that RFC destination for the integration purpose. Maybe we'll go to the SAP at 800 SAP user and welcome 1, 2, 3, 4. This is one client, 800 is one client. And also guys, I use another client, one more client, SAP 810. So we'll go with the SAP 810. I use different user ID here. So what user ID we have? ID admin and IDES is the password, I think. Yes, we have two user IDs. One client will use one user ID, another client will use another user ID to avoid the confusion. Okay, first let me go to the SM59. Here you see there are different type of connections, guys. So ABAP connections, if it is in a type 3, okay, right? If it is in a type 3, we use this connection type to integrate between the SAP to SAP. We use the type 3 connection. See here, the type 3 connection is used to the SAP to the SAP. And we have other connections. Suppose you have an IP address which is in a non-SAP server, and if you want to integrate with non-SAP servers, we are going to use TCP IP connections. And we have the HTTP connections. Suppose there is a server which is runs based on the HTTP request. We are going to use an HTTP request. H request we are going to use it, guys. So here we use first R3 connections, and click on ABAP connections and try create the connection. So our connection is 800, 810. So maybe we'll put batch EDC 8, 8, EDC 810. Already it is there. EDC, I need to know. Okay, new EDC new 810. So I'm going to connect. My target is target system is 810 is my target system, and the type 3 connection, it's an SAP to SAP, both are SAP systems, and the target. So to avoid, I will put like this, 810 is my target. Okay, in this you need to provide the target host IP address is. Okay, what is the IP address of the target? So what is the IP address of the target? So IP address is same, guys. So this IP address and both are into single server. Normally, suppose if I have different server, you see here the IP address is different. If you are in a company network, this is one IP address. We have different servers. This is one server, this is one server. Normally, if it is two servers, you will be having two IP addresses. So this is my two IP addresses. But in case here, the both clients 800 and 810 in the same server, we use the same IP address and go to here, take this IP address, and I'm going to put an IP address over here. 192.168. Okay, and also you need to take instance number. So instance number is here is the 01 is the instance number. What is the instance number of this? See, this is my instance number and this is my IP address. Then you need to go to the logon security. Normally this will be done by the basis people. Okay, normally you don't create, but just I am doing here to make you understand what exactly this is. So I use the ID admin as a login user ID. So whenever you want to connect, we use the ID admin user ID, and password is the ID ES. Okay, and save your RFC destination. Language also. Here is that. Yeah. Even you need to give the English client also you need to give. My target is 810. I am giving the target IP address details and login user ID for the target. Save. Okay. Login data change password is initialized. Again, you need to enter the password IDES. Okay. Save. So your connection is built. EDZN 810 is the RFC destination, and you can do the connection test. See, I close the RFC destination 810. I have only 800 clients. See, this is my 800 client. This is my 800 client, and you can do the connection test. Okay, there is a connection error. Okay. So instance number is different. So check again here. Change. Yeah, instance number is the 41 base, not the 0. So technical settings and instance number is 40. Okay, now you can do the connection test and save. So now it is connecting, and if you want to test remote logon from here, from 800 we can go to the 810. Suppose if it is different two servers also, you can go to the different servers as well. This remote logon, it will open that case. See, it is going to open the another server case ID and PIN. Actually it should open automatically, guys. Why it's not opening? So when I do this test, logon, the logon is changed, maybe 810 ID admin, and IDE is saved. The data is saved. Remote logon. Yes, yes, it is opened. So now it navigates from 800. We navigated to the 810 client. Guys. So you can do the integration from here to there as well, guys. And guys, so what I need to do is now. So from both sides also we can do. From there also I can maintain the RFC destination. I can connect the 810 as well. But here my requirement is, in 810 I maintain some data, okay, and I am going to fetch that data from 810 to the 800 client. This is my integration. I have two different servers. I have the data in 810 client, so it's a client dependent data. So if there is a client dependent data, the data will be available in one client only. The same data will not be available in the 800 client. Sorry, 800. Suppose if I maintain some data in 810, the data will be available in 810 only. And if I want to get that 810 data to the 800, what I need to do? I need to build an RFC function model and call the RFC function model and fetch the data from the 810 client case. So maybe I go to the, I will take one table in 810 example. Go to the now 810. You can go to 800 SN 59 again, and go to the ABAP connections. We have an ABAP connection RFC destination where EDZ. EDZ. Where is that here? Yeah. So this is my remote login. I went here, SE16, and take some table base, whatever the table you want. Mara. Okay, Mara is the database table. Let's take example. So we have the data. Check the data first in 810. So here we have the 188, 89, the material numbers. So we'll check in the SE16N and Mara. Execute. See guys, we have 23, 38. But here 188, 89. There is a different data. In this server different data, that server different data. Suppose one is available here, no. So if I want to fetch the data from here, from 810 to the 800, so I am going to build an RFC. I am going to put an integration. I am going to get the data from there to here, guys. Okay, so we'll use this data and we'll fetch the data from their system base. Okay, when I'm going to build an RFC function model is built here and in 800. I build an RFC now. SE37. Okay, just 1 minute. I'm getting call.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, first we are going to build a function model. But if you want to build a function model, what is the must? Yeah, you need to create a function group first. SE37 and go to function groups and create the function group and GEDG8 and no, it's an RFC. Okay, RFC 8. This is my function model. It's an RFC function group. I'm going to create a function group for the function model and save this in the package, and in the real time you are going to have a new existing packages which you need to use it. Save it and create the transport request and transport interfaces and batch. Okay, save and save that function group in the transport request, and the RFC8 is created, guys. So always whenever you create a function group, it's a good practice. You need to go to the SE18 and you need to select wherever you want to go, you can go it, guys. So if you select package, you will get a package. The objects which are saved under the package will come, and if it is in a function group, you will get a function group. It is in the RFC 8. From here also you can create function group, guys. Suppose you would like to create 9 example. Okay, no need to go to SE37. Enter. It will ask this does not exist. Do you want to create? Yes, I can create. So here also, from here also you can create the function groups. 8 and yes. And whenever you create in a function group, it creates one main program. It creates 2 includes. And first activate the function group first and activate it. Activate the function group. So function group is activated. Now I am going to create a function model. Create a function model, and it's in GEDZ. It's an RFC GEDZ8 underscore RFC underscore maybe material. I would like to fetch all the material data from the 810 client. So fetch material from 810. Function model wizard, no problem. So this message is coming. Normally the function model, after the first letter you need to put in an underscore actually. So we are not putting underscore, that's why it's giving me a warning. So interfacing parameters, maybe my interfacing parameter, I pass the value material number and fetch the material details. So this is my interfacing parameter. IM underscore MATNR is my material number. And the type MATNR is my material number. Guys, attribute section, here you can see the type of function model. Normal function model, remote enabled. So you need to select in a remote enabled function module. Let's say to the exporting parameter, I would like to get first material number, ex underscore all material data from Mara. Okay, type of Mara. It will fetch all the material master details. And also I want the MARC material plan details and type and also MARC. But if you define the MARC, it works like in a work area. But MARC, so what are the key fields in the MARC? What are the key fields in MARC? Material and plant, guys. That means for one material you can get multiple material. One material I can assign to the multiple plants. That means for one material you may expect multiple records. So if it is multiple records, this should be an internal table. If this should be an internal table, the reference should be in a table type GTT MARC. I think it should be there. So this is my material number. GTT MARC. It's a table type for the material. If you want to see, yes. Reference parameters. Okay, you need to select pass by value. Select. So import, save, and do the syntax check. Reference parameters are not allowed with RFC. Guys, always the pass by reference is not allowed in the RFC. It should be in a pass by value and source code. And here we are going to fetch the data, guys. Select star from Mara. Okay, into. So maybe material number, always you get one material for the material number into select single star from Mara into what is your exporting ex underscore mass. Ex underscore Mara. Ex underscore Mara, where MAT NR is equal to the next one is select star, not single. Why? Because we are going to get multiple records. Here you need to use into table your ex underscore MARC, where MAT which is equal to MAT. Simple RFC function model which we have used. We take enter, do the syntax. No errors, only the warning is coming. So when you create an RFC function model, guys, note, okay, all parameters should be passed by value, passed by reference parameters not allowed. So this is a statement. So sometimes you may get, so if you want to build an RFC function model, what is the prerequisite? So one is the, you need to have to connect, you need to have an RFC destination, and also whenever you build a function model, you must have a pass by value, but not by pass by reference case. So this is one of the interview question which I have faced somewhere. So what is the conditions which you need to follow whenever you build an RFC function model says. So this is one of the interview question somewhere I have faced this, and I build a RFC function model is. So directly you cannot execute this RFC function model. If you want to, how do you call this RFC? So if you want to call this RFC, so in program I use or else directly can be tested. You can maintain the RFC destination. How can you test it? It becomes slow. Okay. Let's see 37. Okay, first try to execute. Can we test independently RFC? Hmm. Hmm. Start transaction. Receive 37. Yeah, because very slow. See guys, you can test individually also. RFC target system, you can use the target system as well. So what is the target system which we have created? EVG N810. This is my target system. I am telling to the system execute this function model in the target system, not in this system please. And what is the material number in the target system? Did you remember that? 81, right? 1 and execute. checking. Yeah. See guys, you got a name Mara details and go here. See, this is the material number one and uh, the see but mechanical engineering. These are details from the one list. Suppose I would like to see this material is in the same system or other system. Okay, so I will go to the SE 16N and Mara and give the material number one. Execute. See, the material is available in 800. No, this is the material from the 810 client. We integrated the 810 client. We we targeted, we executed this function model in the 810 and we fetch the data from 810 and even see is the client you can see over here. 810 is the client from the database. We fetched the data from 810 case. So this is the integration. The best approach to integrate between two SAP systems is the RFC case. RFC is the best approach. But sometimes what will happen, normally this kind of situation we don't use RFC case. Suppose I would like to automate the data. Automate which, suppose I create some material in 800, automatically the material number should be updated in 810 days. That kind of requirements we are going to use it. Okay, so I create something here that should be automatically created in the other systems as well. So that kind of functions we need to do it, guys. How can you do that? So maybe I will create one more function, update. This is my function, guys. Update is my function. I need to update the data in the target system. Okay, we'll copy that. Copy this function. Okay, this is the function which I am using for the updation. Okay, copy. So this is my update function, change. So maybe updation means normally I don't use here. I am going to delete here because I'm not fetching here. Updating means I will import the data from here. Okay, I will import the data. Okay, maybe I use Mara data here. Okay, IM underscore Mara, type Mara. So next importing IM underscore MARC, type GTT. Okay, normal, only one record I will update. Two things I am going to update. Okay, save. So I will take Mara details from this system 800 and I will update these details in the target system base. Okay, first go to here, source code and don't, okay, what I am going to do is first delete these statements. First, if you want to update, what you need to do, so maybe what I will do is I will use a modify statement first. So if I do the insert, if there is a record in the target system, it will give a dump. Okay, duplicate is not allowed. So I will use a modify statement. If it is there, it will update the data. If it is not there, it will append or insert the data into database. That's why I use modify statement. Modify the table Mara, okay, from IM underscore Mara. Okay, then modify MARC from IM underscore MARC. So these two modification I am doing, but now what I am doing, I am fetching the data from 800. I am going to modify the data. So I am going to, so maybe instead of import, what I will do, guys. So I am underscore Mara instead of I am underscore Mara. With either here, what I need to do is I need to input all the values, guys. I don't want to input all the values. Just I will take the material number here. Okay, IM underscore MATNR type MATNR. Just I will inject a material number here. Okay, I will inject a material number and I will fetch the data from here. Select okay star from Mara. Okay, select star from Mara. Maybe I will use single record Mara from Mara into So I will use the inline declarations is data at the rate. Maybe I will use ls underscore MARA. First fetch the data from current table, current system 800 where MAT which is equal to we'll use at the rate IM underscore MAT. So I will input the material number, fetch all the material details from the MARA table in the current system. Okay, in the current system. No, it will be executed in the target system. Sorry, I should pass the IM underscore MARA and type MARA IM underscore MARC is the type of ARC and delete. Sorry, delete this because this will be executed in the target system. So you must pass the data from the current system. Yes, and source code and import and this one SY value export source code, and I am going to update from the MARA details. I am going to update from the MARC details. Case the printer and do the syntax check. No syntax errors and activate the function. So directly you can fill it and you can execute it. But what I am going to do is first I will execute a program. From program I am going to pass the values. So normally you execute it here directly, right? But we don't execute directly. Definitely these function models are called from different programs. So how can you call the RFC programs? GEDZ and RFC call. How can you call the RFC function models from the external programs? Create call RFC and update the data in A10. So here what I am doing is I am going to fetch the details from the 800 and that materials I am going to build. I am going to post them in the A10 place. So what are the materials which are not there in the A10? From here I will fetch it. I am going to post that from in the A10 claim. Parameters p underscore mat and type mat and cutoff selection and call function guys pattern. And what you need to do first, select single star MARA into at the rate data. It's an ls underscore MARA inline declarations we are using where MAT NR which is equal to P underscore MAT NR. Okay, this is my input value. Then select, I will use single only, I don't use multiple here. I'll fetch only one record is from MARC into at the rate data and ls underscore MARC and there MAT NR which is equal to P underscore MAT NR. Okay, into the MAT NR. So you need to put inline declarations. You should escape with the host variables. Now I fetch the data, maybe I will input the material number, I fetch the data from database, and after you fetch you need to call the function module pattern and you need to call G to the function modular. This is the function model. Take this function model and call this and okay. So see guys, here if you call normally this function module will be executed in this system only, but I would like to execute this function model in the target system, the 810 system. So the extension which you need to write is destination is whenever it is an RFC function model. So in the last time directly I executed there, I have given the RFC destination name, so the system is automatically executing it. But if you call from the program, you must mention in which system you need to execute. So destination, our destination is EDG new 8. So this is the RFC destination name. Maybe I need to give this in the single quotes. If whenever it is a single quotes, you must give a capital letters EDG and 8. And this is the code which you need to use. So which data I need to update? ls underscore MARA and ls underscore MARC. underscore Marcy. See, pretty printer. That's it. And I do the syntax. No errors. So this is the updation. We are previously we get the data from 810. Now we are updating the data from this client to the another client base. So two ways we can do the RFCs. So maybe what we can do is first we'll compare the database. So SE 16. What are the materials which are there here? I am going to update. So maybe I will take both the material Marcy. Okay. So I will go to the target system. Target system 810 is not there. SM59 without login. This is a trick, guys. Without giving login details, we can directly go like this. See, we can do the remote logger. It goes to the remote. See, 16M and MA and check the materials. So 88, 89. That means so here what all are there? 23 is not there in the target system, right? So I will update the 23. This is my 800. The 23 is available in here. So no. So we'll update the 23 in the 810 client now by executing this program base. So put the breakpoint, debug, and execute, and put the what is the number? 23. 23. I'm taking this 23 as an input. Execute. I think that will be executed this. Refresh it, maybe we'll see. Refresh. See guys, 23 is updated in the 810. So where you executed in the 800, but the same details are updated in the 810 client base. Maybe we will take another material, 38 next. 38. So it will update in two places. Mara also it will update, but I didn't see that. I didn't show that. But execute now. So first I am fetching the data from Mara and storing it in the ls underscore Mara. I'm fetching the data on Marcy, storing it in the ls underscore Marcy. So we are passing those details, Mara and Marcy, to the RFC function module. And whenever you mention this destination, if you don't mention this, it will execute in the same system. If you mention this, this will be executed in the target system base. So in the 810, it is going to execute. And whenever you do this, and it goes, it modifies, it goes, it modifies the Mara and Marcy. So 38, execute, I executed it, go to the target system 810. See, this is my 810, 23, 88, refresh it. You are going to get the 38 over here. So this is the updating the data from one system to another, as well as the fetch get operation you can do, as well as fetch operation or post operation. I can say updating the data is in a post operation. Both the things you can integrate. So normally this is the RFC function model, and so syntax to call RFC function model. Syntax to call RFC. Yes, you can do that. Just interfacing parameters you need to put it. So I put in a single record, put in a table type, it becomes an internal table type, and update the records from the internal table. Both ways we can do it. Just I have given simple example as a single record. If you want to have a multiple record, make it as a table type as a reference, it becomes an internal table. Pass the data, internal table data, and update the data. Multiple records also you can update in a single call base. That is also possible. So call, I will do the copy paste here. So this is the calling of the function. So this is example. Okay. Example. The syntax. This syntax is must. Normally, you know how to call the function model, but the addition is you need to mention the RFC destination is the must, guys. If you want to integrate the data with the RFC function model, you must provide the extension destination and the RFC destination name. RFC, without RFC destination, you cannot execute the RFC function modules. So that's an RFC function modules case. And guys, so sometimes it's an SAP to SAP simple. You can call function, but if it is an SAP to non-SAP, you cannot call like this case. So normally, what we will do is we will expose this function module as a web service case. So that we will see now. So how to expose your function module as a web service? Very easy, guys. Don't complicate. It's not a complicated one. And go to here. See 37, and here this is my function model. And go to the utilities, and my next concept is web services. So slide and web postman. Can we do the postman? We'll do that, no problem. So new slide. So expose RFC as a web service. Expose RFC function module as web services, or you can say it's a SOAP services. Okay, you know the protocols, right? So HTTP protocol, SOAP is also another protocol which provides a communication between the two different systems. So SOAP stands for simple object access protocol. Okay, simple object access protocol, guys. So this is the uh, definition for the SOAP. Sorry guys, maybe I may wrong sometimes. Yes, so if still service, okay, even service also. So where is that? Okay, you are getting so proto. Yeah, it's a simple exit protocol. It is an XML based messaging protocol. Okay, we can do definition is same across all the technologies. Okay, it's a simple object process protocol. With the communication medium which we use is the XML is a communication medium. Okay, so I have an UI. Now it's a non-SAP system. I have an UI service and I have an SAP. If you want to integrate from directly UI, I cannot call an RFC function model. So what we need to do is we have to create we have to expose our function module as a SOAP service case. So how to expose your function module as a web service, that we call it as a web services. Okay, so go to utilities. Somewhere we can do this documentation, more functions, I think. I think you have to go inside the function model utilities, and more utilities. See guys, create web service. Okay, this is the from the function model function. So this is the navigation which you need to follow. So you need to go inside the function model utilities, and more utilities, create web service from the function module base. So this is the navigation to expose your function module as a web service. Okay. So in the first batch, I didn't explain this. So okay, that's enough. Okay, now we are going to expose this. So go to utilities, more utilities, and create web service from the function model. It will give a wizard, guys. Very easy. Huh? So not much complication. So whenever you create a web service, it creates a service definition. It creates a first step one, when we expose web service SAP creates one definition service definition service definition contains metadata for the interface. So metadata is nothing but what is importing parameter, what is exporting parameter. This we call it a metadata case. Like in OData also we talk about metadata, right? Same way here also there is a metadata which will be created. So I will give the service definition, maybe always case. So whenever I given a service definition, ZEDZ uh, 8 RFC underscore material underscore update. Guys, we call it on a V01 version 01 is. So always I maintain like this naming conventions. Why? Because so first time I created this, and the next time I create another one. The third time I create another. Suppose if you add one more additions, we are going to use the additions. Okay, description is update material master target. Update material master in the target and continue and map the name. Continue. So this creates some web related SOAP oriented URL. It gives the URL and continue. And do you want to save this in local object? No, we don't save it. If you save it, you cannot transport it to the other systems. So my package is GEDZ 8. Okay, request. You can assign this request. So my request is transport for the interfaces. So I created this web service and saved this web service in the transport request so that you can move this to the different systems. Continue and finish. So it is created this the Soya manager. So one more thing is you after you create this is the SOAP service. Yeah, I will explain this. So see guys, this is the service definition. Okay, in this service definition, it gives me the URL, the WSDL. We call it WSDL is. Internally, it creates some classes. It creates in a classes. See, this creates an object. Object orientation provides a data integrity. So web service deals with the object orientation. So indirectly it creates classes and everything. See, the structure is generated. See, input is Mara input and Marcy as an input is. And so everything, the objects are over here. The objects are over here. WSDL is the thing size. So we will give this WSDL to the external system. UI system, suppose if they want to call this function, so we give this payload guys. See, this is my URL which is created guys. This is my web service. Okay, this is called from the external system. From the HTTP, they call this server, and this is my URL for my function module. So with they call this URL. We'll give this URL to them. They call this URL guys. Maybe we can see the metadata also. The service definition contains the metadata. The metadata contains over here. See the metadata you can see over here. Material number, material details. So it contains the service definition contains the metadata I told. So this is the metadata of your RFC function base. They pass the values here. Material number, they pass the material number value. Okay. From the external system, they will use this payload. They call it whenever they call it, it executes in the SAP system base. Maybe we'll do that. This is my metadata of my URL. Take this and it provides the metadata, and we have to take WSDL. I call WSDL. In a shortcut we call WSDL. We have to take WSDL and we have to give this WSDL to the external system. So if it is a non-SAP system, normally we give this digital to them, and they use this, and also payload, and prepare payload and give it to them. Otherwise, they don't know, guys, what fields you have. So you have to take this payload. You see, so there is a save to file. You can save this payload to the file desktop, and it's my material RFC payload. So you can send this payload to the external and save them into the here. So okay, and then, so I can take this payload. I can give it to them, guys. So RFC, where is the interface? Is RFC. RFC payload and give them to the which XML. Do you need XML? You can open with okay. Yeah. So this is the payload which we are going to give to interface. So so you can see there is the payload data. See here you can see the payload database. Okay, here we can mention the data, sample data we can give it. So I will test this, then I will give the actual payload and go to here, and here also you can test this directly. You can test this. So I am going to test this. Test. You can perform test your web service on here. What is it saying? Oh, need to activate the web service definition. You must activate the service definition. So activate service. Yeah, service definition. Yeah, wait, I'm coming to that. So I'm doing locally test. Okay, then I will give the actual URL. Actually, this is the old way of doing. I will explain both the things. Okay. Actually, it comes in Volata. Volata is different. Yeah. In Volata also you will get service data, metadata. There also there is a service definition, right? Whenever you create an Volata, leave it. We'll talk there. Okay. So this is activated. Now I can execute this web service. You can test the web services from the service definitions. But in projects, you will be having most of the interfaces concepts. Okay, so interfaces are very important. See, it will ask generate request template. So request, there are two pair, the client server architecture, right? So initially I talk about the architecture of an SAP. So in the client server architecture, always we will be having two things. One is the request, another one is the response. So whenever you send any integration, I didn't explain. Directly I have introduced for them this batch. Huh? Yeah. So somewhere I have introduced the client server architecture. So Whenever you want to connect to the server, we need to send in a request. This is a template for the request. So what is the request? So see guys, this is my request payload. So here I will send the data material number. You can input the edit is there. Edit, change parameters. Edit option. You can see XML editor. So you need to click on this in the request payload. See, it gives me editor. So here guys, I need to create my own material number. Okay. So this actually you need to think this payload will be called from the external system. UI, suppose there is an UI system, I have an SAP system, right? So the UI system will call this metadata as an XML and they are going to update the data in the SAP. So maybe I will give my external MEAT. I'm calling it a material which is from the external system. EXT MEAT and the value is 01. This is my material number, simple data I have taken guys. And also I am going to take material type. Okay, see in bit guys, whenever it is an XML, the XML tags, you can see this is the field name. This is the end of the field. Okay, in between you need to put in a values. See here I am putting in a values. This is an XML editor, XML format. This is okay. Maybe material type. My material type is fat. Fat is my material type, and also I am going to take MBRSH is my M. So we'll use these only use these three parameters. Let's testing purpose. Okay. And maybe what we can do, we can execute this. Uh, Error occurs because you have the details. What I can do is check XML is well formed. If any errors in the XML, it gives me the errors. What is this? So what I will do is first I will put in a breakpoint inside the function module and let me check this whether my function module is calling or not. So SE37 and display, and since it is an external, I need to put in a external breakpoint. Okay, maybe if this is not called, then the problem is it's giving me the error. So wherever there is no wherever there is no data, we'll put in a space. Guys, it takes me a lot of time. What we will do is we'll create a simple custom table with 3 fields. We'll update those details because I need to fill up a lot of things. If you have taken a lot of fields from the Mara and Marcy, I don't want to take all these. We'll create a simple custom table, jet table. Okay, SC11 and G Mara, my custom Mara table. This is create and and maintenance not allowed because I don't want to maintain the data. Client field, this is MEANDT, and next one is MAT, NR, and K field, MAT, NR, FE, sorry, material type MTA, RT, 3 fields, and MBRSH, Save. And technical settings 0 size low, come back to the same page, no errors, and activate the table. So no need to maintain the table maintenance generator guys. Why? Because we are not manually maintaining the data, we are updating the data through the program. So no need to maintain the table. If you want to maintain manually, then you have to go with the table maintenance generator. We are not manually maintaining an SAP. I didn't put a table maintenance not allowed. I put. You should not put. Maybe if it is not allowed, you cannot display the data. Even can you display the data? No. If you want to display, then you need to go with allowed with the restrictions. Okay, this is the option you need to select this. Okay, this is my ZMARA, and go to the and function group and create a new function model. Create a new function model and create, and G EDZ8 and ZMARA update. Okay, this is my custom table Mara update, and function group is this and same, and okay, and create the function model IAM underscore jet Mara, and which is a type of a jet Mara. This is my database table, and uh, pass by value and source code, and modify, right, modify jet Mara from IAM underscore. This is the incoming value, and this is save and activate, and utilities and more utilities, create web service on the function. Okay, see guys, it should be an RFC function model. You cannot integrate with the external system. That's an uh, thing is normal function model you cannot use as a web services case. You must have it's an RFC enabled function module, and more utilities and create web service from the function model, and take the GEDZ 8. Okay, I put sir Z mark. You can put like this also, no problem. Okay, and continue. Map the name, continue, and view something, no problem. And package GEDZ 8, and this is the transport, and continue, complete. Okay, 1 minute job, just exposing your. So guys, this is an absolute concept actually, and we have another concept to generate this URL. Okay, that's not a problem. First we'll see, then later we'll go to that. Okay, then activated. So in Visdel, you can see the Visdel mode. So Visdel is here, and you have 3 fields. One is the 4 fields: mandate, material number, and MTRT, MBRS. See guys, the Visdel first letter upper camel case it is following M, MATNR, material this, and maybe what you can do, you can test this service. This is different one. I am closing this. Okay, just it will generate a template for you, request template. See guys, simple, and you need to go to the XML editor and give the values inside this. Okay, so you see there are open tag and close tag for the mandate field, and mandate, no need to give mandate. If you want to give, you can give it also, that's not a problem. If you give or don't give, it will come. And MATNR, okay, yeah, it's my external MAT01, this is my material number, and my next is the material type. Material type is the finished product, and the industry sector is the M. It's a mechanical engineering guys. And execute. See, successfully with empty result. Maybe I didn't give any response back. That's why it's showing it's an empty result. But we'll go to the table, we'll see whether it is updated or not. Okay. Hmm. Just see 16 and Mara. See the number of entries. One entry guys. See, did we maintain through external program? The data is updated guys. So that's an web services. That's an web service. Maybe I will give the result back also. So maybe I will give the result. Okay, not this function. Is the same function model? No. So we'll give the result back. So I will go back again. Go back. See function model. So gmar update. Result will be always it's an exporting parameters and the status type and the status we can give like char 40. Okay, and it should be a pass by value and save success. And if psi hyphen which is equal to 0 and the status is what is that status is okay data uploaded successfully else okay and if error in data upload successfully don't put successful yeah? So activate. So here what you did, you changed the interfacing parameters, but you generated a already this thing. Then you need to regenerate your web service case. You have to regenerate your web service. How can you regenerate the service definition? Uh, so go here, SE80, and you know the package guys. Package. In the package which we have saved is EDG8. Since in EDG8 we did a lot of things guys. Workflow also we did. RFC and enterprise services case. This is a service definitions are comes under the enterprise services. And you can go here, RFC services, enterprise services. See, this is my service definition. So you can get whatever you want guys. So change and regenerate is available. How to regenerate only input we have is so even we need to have an output as well. How to regenerate this service definition? Service generator, check, activate, edit. That's the problem is. So previously I introduced version 1, version 02, version 03. Why? Because this is the problem. So old service definition, you cannot use it. You have to create. Suppose if you change something interfacing parameters, you need to generate a new service definition. That's why I put an V01 base. So it's not at all possible. You should make a new service definition, utilities and more utilities and create web service with the function model. And my service definition is now V02. First, initially I did an interfacing with some parameters. Now I changed the parameters. If you want to reflect your changed parameters, I put an a V02 and continue and continue and continue and continue and finish it. Complete. So this is a new service definition. It will include the new parameters now. See. So now you go back this and also there should be a status as well. Yeah, you can see there is a status field as well. So that's the thing and activate. Now, activate the service definition. Okay, now test it. Execute and edit. You must provide the values 800 material number XML editor. This is a ext mat 02 new material, and material type is uh, FERT. So we will give this case calling is, it's not our headache. Just I am testing my functionality is working or not. Okay, material. Yes. So just we will give the WSDL URL, and also the payload we will give it to the external system. Suppose there is a Java developer, from the application UI is developed with Java. So we'll give this information, the payload, request payload, and the URL to the Java. They are going to call this from their system base. So that's the thing. Okay, but our side, see the status data uploaded successfully. This is a response which are giving to that system base. So this is the architecture, request and response architecture. The HTTP protocol, SOAP protocol, SOAP, simple object access protocol, by using web services. Okay, so this is a web service concept. Not only RFC guys, even ABAP also we can expose as a web service. Same ABAP is also a function model. We can do the same steps to the ABAP as well, guys. So that's a web service concept. And the one more way we can do is, the latest way to do the web services is SOA manager based. SOAMANAGER. This will talk in the tomorrow's class. So if you want to do this, is one web dentro application which is given by SAP. There you can do the configuration. This is the latest web service SOA manager. How we will do, we'll see in the tomorrow's class. Okay, so that's it for that today. And the one point, the important point which we need to do is, so service definitions are unique. Service definitions are unique, and we cannot change the interfacing parameters of the service definition to include new parameters. We must generate new service definition. That's it. New service definition. So that's it. RFC and RFC from the external system base. So external system I have tested from SAP itself, but you must take the WSDL. You have to pick up the WSDL URL. We have to take the WSDL in the service definition, and also you need to prepare a payload. So just execute it, you will get a payload base. You can download to the from output file, sorry, some file. You have to take that file and you have to give that URL. They are going to call it service. That's it. Okay. So that's an external web service by using non-SAP system. So with the RFC, we can integrate between SAP to SAP, we are saying SAP to the non-SAP by using web services. So we'll talk later more interesting topics from external system, how exactly we can call by using HTTP SOAP services here with the JSON format. Now we have seen with the XML format. So how to do with the JSON format, that also we'll see in the next classes. And what is the disadvantage of this RFC and this kind of calls? Do you see any disadvantages? So I am calling something from the external system. If SAP is down, what will happen? Can you track it? No, not possible. Suppose I am triggering something, it's not giving me anything, right? And also I send some data. That data should be uploaded into SAP. Once the SAP brings back, is it possible by using RFC? Not possible. So for that, and also reprocessing. Suppose if there is an error, I need to reprocess the request. That is not possible with the RFC. Or maybe BAPI also it's not possible. For that, we have a concept called ALE and IDOC. This we are going to use to track, to provide a clear troubleshooting mechanism. The concept ALE and IDOC is better than compared to the RFCs and BAPs. So that also we'll see in the next few classes. So this is the RFC, and next the BAP also very important. Next concept we introduce the BAPs. Our web services is done and RFC is done. The next concept we use the BAPs. After that, BAP is also simple, and then we go with the AV items. Okay, that's it for the day. Thank you all. See you tomorrow. That is